I couldn't believe I was being hauled out of my own shower, dripping wet in nothing but a bathrobe, facing two stern police officers in my living room demanding proof that I wasn't some intruder breaking into my own lakeside cabin. My heart pounded as I stammered explanations, but deep down, I knew this wasn't a random mix-up. It was my nosy, power-hungry neighbor Karen at work, convinced I was a threat to our pristine little community. What started as an awkward confrontation escalated into a neighborhood war that exposed just how far someone could go to control everyone else's lives. Was this the price of living in a peaceful HOA-governed enclave? Some might say Karen was just overly vigilant, protecting property values, but to me, and soon the whole street, she was a tyrant hiding behind a clipboard. Let me set the scene. I'm Alex, a 35-year-old software engineer burnout from endless code sprints and virtual meetings. For 3 years, my cabin in Cedar Ridge community, a serene spot by a California lake, had been my escape hatch. Just 17 households, mostly tech folks like me, young families, and retirees drawn to the quiet vibes. The HOA was supposed to keep things tidy, but it had morphed into something darker under Karen's iron fist. At 52, she was a former building inspector fired for nitpicking violations no one else saw, like rejecting blueprints over a millimeter's discrepancy. Now, as HOA president, she channeled that obsession into patrolling our streets, notebook in hand, emailing snide reminders about community standards like no porch lights after 10 p.m. or perfectly aligned flower beds. Most neighbors, like sweet Eleanor, a 75-year-old founding member with a thriving garden, were gems, waving hello and sharing veggies. But Karen? Her house was a showroom of precision, lawn mowed to exactly 2 inches, mailbox at regulation tilt. I should have seen the red flags, but I kept my head down, figuring as long as I followed basic rules, I'd be fine. That illusion shattered last month. My business trip got canceled early, so I drove back Wednesday evening, pizza in hand, dreaming of lakeside chill time. The sunset gilded the water as I pulled in, but then Karen marched over, eyes narrowed like I was casing the joint. "Alex," she barked, "you're supposed to be gone till Friday. Show me I'd now." We'd chatted at barbecues. She'd even praised my landscaping once. Yet here she was, blocking my porch, invoking security protocols as if I were a stranger. Humiliated, with curtains twitching from nosy windows, I handed over my license. She scrutinized it like Border Patrol, then whipped out her phone, muttering about suspicious activity at cabin 47. I brushed it off as paranoia, but boy, was I wrong. Next morning, fresh from a steamy shower, coffee in hand, a thunderous knock jolted me. Opening the door in my robe, I faced 2 cops. "Sir, report of illegal occupation here. Prove you're authorized." My jaw dropped. This was my home, mortgage and all. Trembling, I fetched my deed and ID, explaining the prior night's weirdness. They verified everything, but not before Karen watched smugly from her porch. The senior officer confronted her, voice sharp. False calls waste resources, could lead to charges. Apologizing to me, they left, but the damage was done. Neighbors gawked. My crime? Returning home early. Was Karen's overreach justified for safety, or was it straight-up harassment? The debate would rage soon. That afternoon, an email blasted to all residents. Violation, unreported activity, with blurry photos of me unloading my car, captioned like evidence of a heist. Karen cited vague protocols post-COVID, claiming my surprise arrival endangered us all. Furious, I replied, all with actual bylaw screenshots. No such rule existed. I demanded she specify the clause mandating travel reports, emphasizing our right to privacy. Her comeback? A pixelated PDF of updated guidelines, signatures smudged, unfindable on the HOA site. I doubted myself, maybe I'd missed an amendment. But then Eleanor called, her voice steady. "Son, that's fabricated. I've got founding docs from '92. She's invented rules to bully folks for years." Relief surged. This wasn't just me. Karen had fined elders for wrong flowers, forced repaints over shade differences. Was her control freakery protecting the community or destroying it? The controversy brewed. Tensions peaked at the monthly video meeting. Karen, blazer-clad, shared a slick PowerPoint branding my pizza run as a security breach. Residents murmured, some nodded, fearing lax rules invited crime. Others scoffed at needing permission for daily life. I screen-shared originals. Show us the rule, Karen. Flustered, she hedged about common sense. Pressed, she erupted. I don't need clauses. I'm president, I am the rules. Silence. Then stories poured out. Fake fines for porch angles, bird feeders, disrupting wildlife. She stormed off, but the seed of rebellion was planted. Critics called it overreaction. Supporters saw a necessary uprising against HOA tyranny. Post-meeting, Karen unraveled. A 5:30 a.m. email ranted about my rebellion, accusing me of corrupting Eleanor. She prowled streets, ruler measuring grass, snapping crooked mailboxes. Saturday, I caught her on knees by my car, tape measure out, 12 centimeters off, disrupts harmony. Neighbors filmed as she screamed, I am the rules, you don't question me. The video exploded in our chat, unleashing tales of bogus $100 fines, forced changes costing families dearly. Was Karen a dedicated enforcer or unhinged dictator? The divide sparked heated debates. Eleanor called an emergency in-person meeting at her home. 15 households RSVP'd. Karen threatened fines for unauthorized gatherings, but we packed in live streaming for transparency. Mid-discussion, she burst in, this is invalid without me. Ranting about her absolute authority, she declared, I am the HOA. The stream captured it all. Comments flooded. Refund demands, lawyer threats. We voted 16-0 to oust her, pure karma. Weeks later, state probes hit for fraud, fines refunded. New board under Eleanor mandated votes on rules. Karen, paranoid, now micromanaged her own yard, fearing violations. The woman who terrorized us lived in fear of her inventions. Our community bloomed friendlier chats, no eggshells. I'd sparked change, but the saga raised big questions. When does community protection cross into personal invasion? In HOA America, the line's thinner than you think.